uniting government, business, and neighborhoods. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Local Edition. With me this hour is Sharmain Matlock-Turner, President and CEO of the Greater Philadelphia Urban Affairs Coalition. Thanks so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure to be here, Jill. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. And you as an organization are celebrating your 40th anniversary, and we think about what happened, or what was happening with us as a country 40 years ago. This was really an organization that stemmed from the turbulence of our nation, the civil rights movement. Explain to us a little bit about the starting of this organization and where we stand today.
Certainly. 40 years ago, for those who are young like me, might remember that unfortunately Dr. Martin Luther King, who was the leader of the civil rights movement in our country, was assassinated, and the sort of hopes and dreams, especially in the African American community, many people thought that that was over, and so the anger and just the emotion of that time spilled out in many cities. And business leaders in Philadelphia were very concerned that that same kind of emotion and rioting was going to spill out in Philadelphia. So they decided, you know what, let's try to get ahead of this. Let's try to really connect with the African American community. And out of those initial meetings that weekend and raising some money and getting some money out into the community, grew the Urban Affairs Coalition at the time, or what was known as the URB, or the Urban Coalition, which today is the Greater Philadelphia Urban Affairs Coalition.
So out of the turbulence of the 1960s and into the early 70s, this really came forward. But why is it important to unite both government entities and business entities with the local communities, with neighborhoods?
Well, it's important because really all three play such an important role. And a lot of times when you work in an isolated way, if you just work in neighborhoods and people downtown are saying, I don't know what's going on, the only thing I see is what's in the headlines, I don't think anything's working. When you have the business community and government really sitting at the table with neighborhood folks, they really have a sense of who's doing what in neighborhoods and what's going on in neighborhoods. And that makes a difference when you're trying to design new programs or answer community needs.
So dealing with the acute needs of this organization when it was founded 40 years ago, fast forward to today, you have a diverse array of programs, everything from a high school to financial assistance programs. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things you do, particularly when it comes to youth development.
Right. Well, we care certainly that youth are our future. I mean, I know that everyone says that, but in neighborhoods, that's absolutely true. Young people are usually the ones who are most vulnerable. So a lot of our work is about trying to help young people navigate the rough waters of getting into adulthood, and all of us know how tough they are. It's really tough for kids who are poor. And so we do a lot to try to help with that. We are the largest employer of kids to work for the summer, so many of the teens who start out with us at 14 stay with us through 18 and to college, and really sort of help the next generation of teens come along. As you said, we've started a new high school, a Rise Academy, to really reach out to kids who are even more vulnerable, those who are in foster care. We have programs that work with kids before school, after school, wherever kids are. We're trying to connect and really make really good relationships with them. But then you also have to strengthen the economic base of the community. Money matters, no matter what. And so we do a lot to try to make sure that people have access to good jobs and to being able to build and develop businesses, but we don't want to put money in one pocket and see it go flying out the other. So we care about foreclosure, we care about all kinds of financial scams that are facing the community. We try to do a lot about trying to keep that money there. We have a wonderful free tax program where we brought in over $106 million back into the community over the last 5 years that's been going on. So wherever there's a problem, there's usually a community person who wants to try to solve that problem. And at the coalition, we're like a base. You know, someone comes in and says, look, I want to run an after-school program on my block, or I want to have an anti-violence program in my neighborhood. How do I get started? Can you help me? And the coalition is there to try to make that happen.
And thank you for your time. And again, the coalition is there to help. And we've talked about everything from a high school to financial assistance and celebrating 40 years of service.
40 years.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
We've been talking with Sharmain Matlock-Turner. I'm Jill Horner.